Frequently asked question number 59. Where should I place my succulents? Whether it should be north, west, south, east, where exactly should I place my succulents? Now guys, for that I would say if you have a south facing balcony or a east facing balcony, that is going to work out really well because that is the most preferred type of sunlight. Because if you have a east facing balcony or a east facing spot, that's where you are going to get a good amount of morning direct sunlight for 5 to 6 hours, and that is going to work out really well. You can see most of my succulents are kept in east facing, south to east facing kind of a location, because I place my succulents on the terrace, so there is light all throughout the day, whether it's north, south, east, west. Any time of the day I have a good amount of light, but I prefer to keep my succulents more towards the east facing because that's where I get a good amount of morning direct sunlight for 5 to 6 hours, and that's why you can see they are so brightly intense colored even during their growing season, because they get a good amount of light. So I'm placing most of my succulents in the east facing to south facing kind of a location where they get a good amount of light. But being said that, just because you have a north or a west facing balcony doesn't mean that you cannot grow succulents. You can definitely grow your succulents there, provided there is a good amount of indirect bright light. Obviously it's not going to be as good as what it is with the south or the east facing location, because that's where you get a good amount of intense morning light, which is very mild. In the north and west direction, the sunlight might not be very intense. Usually in the west the sun tends to set, so the light is not very intense, doesn't work out really well, especially when it comes to colors. But if you have a east facing location, I think the succulents are going to do excellent. So I will quickly show you the succulents that have been placed in the east facing location. So now these are all of my succulents that tend to get the morning direct sunlight for 5 to 6 hours. So this entire location that you're seeing is the east facing. Basically they get a good amount of morning direct sunlight for 5 to 6 hours. So the moment the sun rises, the first rays of the sun directly fall on my succulents, and as you can see, they are very colored. They have this intense beautiful color on them. And now this is another spot. Now this place also tends to get a good amount of morning sunlight because the sun has just changed its direction. So this place also gets a good amount of morning sunlight, and during the afternoon it tends to get partial shade, but there is a good amount of bright light. That's why you can see the succulents are very brightly colored over here because they get a good amount of morning sunlight. And then when the sun tends to set, it also tends to get that evening sunset light. So there is light throughout the day, morning direct sunlight, afternoon indirect light, and then evening direct sunset lighting as well. So at all given point of time, because this is an open terrace, it tends to get a lot of bright light, both in form of direct and indirect light. So that's why you can see the colors are very bright on all of these succulents as well. So guys, I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button, and thank you so much for watching.